Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and after a lot of waiting, Season 4 is here. I'm super excited. Season 3 ended better than I could have hoped. I managed to hit rank 10 for the first time, so honestly went fantastic, and I'm really excited to see how this new season goes. And what we're going to be seeing here today is a couple of my first few battles of the season. So I believe I was rank 3 in these battles, so the opponent's skill level can be like up and down depending, but honestly I'm having a lot of fun. To get to rank 10 I ended up using the Bastiodon double Razor Leaf line, and I did want to branch out a bit in Season 4 since I didn't have to be as sweaty. So in this video I really wanted to, feature a Pokemon that isn't given a lot of love. So for this particular video I decided to do a double evolution team. So we're running a Vaporeon in the lead that has Water Gun, Aqua Tail, and Last Resort. Umbreon safe swap. The reason why we safe swap it is basically just to try and draw out their Azumarill. And Umbreon has Snarl, Foul Play, and Last Resort. And then as our closer, we have Alolan Marowak with Fire Spin, Bone Club, and Shadow Ball. And so technically, I believe all three Pokemon have a losing matchup to Azu, if Azu has Play Rough. So it is a bit of a team effort to take out the Azumarill, but honestly, I had a lot of fun with this team. I ended up playing the battles on stream, which reminds me, if you guys are watching, definitely stop by the streams. I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central, Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. Central. I love just hanging out with people, battling, having a good time, so definitely stop on by. And without further ado, let's hop into these battles. And we're hopping into game number 1 here against Andre Tempe 3-7. One thing I love about the start of the season is the lack of queue times. Like, I got a match right away, and as you do rise up in the ranks towards the later part of the season, it does get a bit more difficult. We lead into an Obstagoon, which is a decent lead for us. Our opponent did have a bit of lag to start, but it looks like that they caught up, which was good. And they're going to be going for these Night Slashes, and they are going to be doing quite a bit of damage because Vaporeon is fairly squishy. Like, look at that. That does take us into the yellow. We're going for the Aqua Tail to apply some neutral pressure. This won't be taking it out, but does get it into the red. And here, we're going to let this go, and then we're going to come in with our Alolan Marowak and try and farm down. Because Alolan Marowak, if you can get it ahead on energy, plus we have a shield advantage, then we're going to be in business. And so even though the next Pokemon that does come in is an Azumarill, we're up on energy and shield. So we should be able to handle this Azumarill, even though technically both of our Pokemon have losing matchups to Azumarill. We connect with the Shadow Ball, we quick swap into Umbreon to catch the charge move, and I'm guessing this is an Ice Beam. It is. So we caught the Ice Beam, which is great. Now we're building up, and we're going for a Last Resort, and this will be hitting the Azumarill for neutral damage. Although we do catch the shield, so now we have a 2 shield advantage. So things are going pretty well for us. We do lose CMP here. We shield it up. And it's another Ice Beam bait, unfortunately. We're going for the Last Resort, and this won't kill, but it will get it close. And so we will need another charge move to take it out, because it's not quite in foul play range, and we lose CMP again. I decided no shield it. It's got to be an Ice Beam, and it's a Play Rough. That's hitting us for super effective damage. That's not good. I will be able to connect with the Last Resort. That is going to be taking out the Azumarill, and we'll have to see what's in back. It is the Galarian Stunfisk. I quick swap into my Marowak, and I'm going to be shielding that up because I need to get off this Shadow Ball. So we are going to be able to get to the Shadow Ball. This is going to be applying some heavy neutral pressure to that Galarian Stunfisk, taking it into the red. We're just trying to Fire Spin down. He gets to a charge move. This is going to be the Rock Slide. Rock Slide does about 50%, so this just won't take us out, and he's able to farm down there, unfortunately. And we are trying to Snarl down, and he wins CMP again and takes us out with a Rock Slide. So really good game there. Came down to the wire. So hopping into game number 2. This one is against Shotar04, and again, as you can see, that lack of queue times just warms my heart. Towards the end of the season, it was like 5+ minutes. So to have an instant match, I just get more GBL goodness. So that's a win in my book. So we lead into a Scrafty. This is very similar to the Obstagoon, where I'm going to want to stay in here and just try and provide some nice chip damage with Aqua Tails. I'm fully expecting to lose Switch, but my goal is to come in with Alolan Marowak and get ahead on energy. Because Alolan Marowak, if it's ahead on energy, is really, really good. We're going for an Aqua Tail, and here we're hoping to get a shield. Because last game, our advantage was we were up energy and a shield. Perfect. We got a shield. We switch out into our Marowak. He goes for a charge move. I'm expecting this to be a foul play, because since he already used 2 power-up punches, that would hit like a truck. Okay, he switches out into his Azumarill, but we are very ahead on energy. So even though we're on neutral shields this time, since I have a significant energy lead, that's going to help me out quite a bit. Perfect. And so we are able to land the Shadow Ball, which is great. Goes for an Ice Beam. And we're building up quite a bit of energy, and I realize that I'm going to need to bait to get that last shield. Going for the Bone Club. Really need to get that shield, and we do get the shield, which is huge. But he gets to the charge move before we do, unfortunately. I think that's just an Ice Beam. It is, so we survive it. We get to the Shadow Ball, which is perfect. This Shadow Ball is going to be taking out the Azumarill, and we'll see what's in back. It is, a Berserker. This is a bit dangerous with an Umbreon, just because it has close combat, which would hit us for super effective. We go for the foul play. He's going to need to build up quite a bit of energy to do back-to-back close combats. I switch out to try and catch it, but he sees that I switched out, and he switches in his Scrafty. Going for a foul play here. And it just doesn't KO, but that's exactly what I planned, because I needed to get some extra farm to get this foul play. So he goes for the power-up punch, we farm him down, we throw our charge move, but we lose CMP to Berserker. Please survive a close combat. It does, and we're able to get to the charge move, and since his defense fell, this is going to be taking him out. So the fact that my Umbreon is a rank 1 ends up paying off, because we survive with almost no HP there. So good game to my opponent. Oh, that was a good one. So we're hopping into game 3 against Andre Carden in the Victini shirt, looking stylish. Of course, we're leading Vaporeon into Ferrothorn. This is a horrible lead, so we're going to safe swap into our Umbreon since we have a pretty negative lead. So we're going to try and draw out their Azumarill if they have one. Connects with the Power Whip, comes in with a Lapras. Interesting. So that tells me that they don't have an Azumarill. So I'd say 9 times out of 10. If you're running an Azu counter up front and then you switch into an Umbreon, if they have an Azu, they'll more than likely bring it out. So that tells me that he probably doesn't have an Azu, and I'm hoping that this Lapras is the biggest threat that he had to the Alolan Marowak. Building up some energy here, letting this go as this is just a Surf and would not take me out. Surf connects. I'm going for the foul play. And the foul play does get the shield, building up some extra energy here. Going for another foul play. We were able to outpace it there. And he lets it go. He gives us switch advantage, which is a huge mistake because he comes in with Skarmory. We're able to get to a foul play. But switch advantage was everything in this game because Alolan Marowak with Fire Spin is going to be doing double super effective damage to the Ferrothorn. So as you see, I come in with Vaporeon here because switch alignment in this battle is very important. Because even though Alolan Marowak technically has pretty good matchups against both, the Vaporeon has a terrible matchup against the Ferrothorn. So that's why I had to line up the Pokemon as such. Skarmory is throwing its energy, and I let this go. And then I'm going to switch out into my Alolan Marowak, because I am doing super effective with the Fire Spins, building up a ton of energy. He's going for a charge move. I am going to be shielding that up. My opponent probably should have switched out, because now that Ferrothorn is really behind on energy, because if you recall, it threw the Power Whip before leaving last time, and so we're able to farm it all the way down with a combination of Shadow Ball and Fire Spins, and even though Bone Club is going to be resisted, that's enough damage to take it out. So good game. So we are 2-1. So we have recovered from a really bad start to the set. We claimed those rewards and we're hopping back in. This one is against K. Evans. And again, I've said it once, I've said it again. I love the lack of Q times. It makes the game so much more enjoyable. Here we do catch a bad lead. Altaria is going to be resisting our water attack. So we switch into Umbreon, going for the foul play. And this will be applying some nice neutral pressure to the Altaria. It does connect. And they switch out into Clefable. So that was wise of my opponent because they didn't want to switch in their Clefable to an energy disadvantage, so they waited for me to throw and then they switched in. I connect with one last resort, going for a second one. Honestly, hoping that we can get a shield, because I want shields out of the way. If we do get a shield, which is huge, and he's just able to charm down, come back in with the Vaporeon, and I do shield this up. I'm a little worried it's going to be a hard-hitting move, and it was Dazzling Gleam, so that was definitely a good shield. We're able to get to the Aqua Tail, and if he doesn't shield the Clefable, this will be taking it out. And that does take out the Clefable. He comes in with Cloyster. Interesting. So he had a really good alignment, but chose actually to save Altaria for what was in back. So that was an interesting choice. He does shield up the Last Resort, which is tragic, and I'm going to let this go because I realized that I'm going to need the shield for Alolan Marowak. So I come in with the Alolan Marowak, I'm doing neutral damage with Fire Spins. I go for the charge move, but unfortunately we see him P-tie. He connects with the Avalanche, that's resisted, and the move triggers. That's really unfortunate. I was really hoping it wouldn't, just so I would get some extra farm. And in comes the Altaria with energy. I'm going to need to shield up this Sky Attack, and then I've got to get to my Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to be applying a decent amount of pressure here. We get to the Shadow Ball. This won't KO, but this will get it deep into the red. Oh my goodness. Then it's just, come on, Fire Spin. And we're able to Fire Spin down and take the game. Oh my goodness. And that's what I love about this team composition, is by switching into Umbreon, you can really clear the path for Alolan Marowak to sweep in back. So good looking out. And game 5, we get a Ferrothorn lead. This is definitely bad. We're going to switch into our Umbreon, and they bring out the Azu. Yes, this is exactly how I want this game to go. This is perfect. So I'm fine with, I lost the first matchup because I switched out, and I'm going to lose the secondary matchup. That's fine with me because we baited out the Azu, so then we can kill it with our Vaporeon. And we're going for a Last Resort. And this should get it into the yellow, which it does. And Azu's going to go for a charge move, and we're going to let this go. We're not going to expend any shields on the Umbreon. It already did its job. We come back in with the Vaporeon, and he's going to be going for a Play Rough, which is going to be hitting us for quite a bit of neutral damage there. Ow, yeah, that hurt. We're building up a ton of energy, and we're going for the Aqua Tail. So I intentionally didn't throw the Last Resort. I built up, and I water gunned him down enough where I would be able to throw just an Aqua Tail and have a ton of leftover energy. Throwing the Last Resort on the Ferrothorn, it is going to be resisted, but it does some chip damage, and I switch into Marowak. He counter swaps into Galvantula. Let's go. These Fire Spins, due to Galvantula's bug typing, are super effective, and our Bone Clubs, due to the electric typing, will be super effective. So this is a great matchup for us. We shield up the Lunge. I was a little worried he was going for a harder hitting move. We're going to go for the Bone Club, and he actually double shields the Galvantula, so interesting choice there. And we double shield our Alolan Marowak to match in kind, because we'll be able to leave this matchup with energy. And he comes in with the Ferrothorn, and even though we are debuffed due to Lunge, we'll be able to go for the Shadow Ball, which does a decent chunk. I try to switch out to catch the charge move. I'm unsuccessful. Please fix sack swaps. But we should be able to Fire Spin down and take the game. So not bad. 4-1 with the double EEVEELUTION team. Shout out to Vaporeon working as my Azu killer. But honestly, I would say the MVP was probably Umbreon. Umbreon in that save swap, drawing out the Azumarill, clearing the path for Alolan Marowak to sweep in back. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. It's a 100% free way to support the channel and let me know that you're enjoying the content. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.